Alright, something's definitely off here. Yeah, something's not right. 1 second. But this here is what's right. Welcome to what's going to be replacing my yearly collection videos on YouTube. So, due to space and just due to what I do with my Lego collection these days, most of it I have actually been storing away certain sets. And the way I see it, it's not really a full collection video if I have to bring out storage tubs and sets that are, taken apart and bagged up. It just doesn't work for me. So I've decided, hey, those collection videos, one of the main points is to show you what I bought over the year, point out the new sets. So why not just cut out the middleman and do these types of videos, and welcome to everything that I bought in 2022. It's safe to say I may need an addiction counsellor. This is insane. I don't know how much I spent, but I am, as much as there's a lot here, for you thinking of it right now, as we're filming this on January the 3rd, 2023, yeah, some of these sets have extremely inflated values, but there's ways that I got them cheaper, and some of these I bought before their extreme price hikes. Because some of these sets, notably Jabba's Palace, went up, it went up quite a bit during 2022 due to things like, the Book of Boba Fett and the Boba Fett's throne room set just being so bad and just undesirable. These kind of factors have changed. I bought it actually right before that happened, but there's a lot here, especially the minifigure department is something I worked on this year. We have two sections. This section's kind of the stuff that wouldn't fit normally. Yes, this is the third day in a row of me doing videos. Please don't hope for a fourth. I'm currently on Christmas break from college, so I'm trying to produce as much content as humanly possible. So let's get into some details about this stuff. So I don't know the overall cost. I know what I paid for some things. I know I paid $250 for the Death Star. I know I paid $150 for Palpatine's Arrest. I know I paid $150 for the Malevolence. I know kind of stuff like that. I know that I paid $120 on release for the ATTE when it came out. I know stuff like that. But I don't know the exact cost and value of everything here. All of this was bought between January and December of 2022. So that's kind of interesting what I bought. There was a few non-Star Wars sets here. You may know in the last couple of months I have reviewed, I think, two non-Star Wars sets. I did the Finn McMissile and the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. So this year we kind of branched out a bit. But most of these sets, 2022, I kind of like, I don't pay for this with YouTube, right? I pay for this. I have a part-time job in retail, so that's kind of how I pay for this. I don't spend every penny of every paycheck, so this was spread out throughout the year. And keep in mind, some of these were just good deals. Like, a lot of these sets were won at auctions. That gunship was only £100 at auction because it was yellowed. And I spent the extra £10 on Bricklink, replacing it. Sorry, my throat there. Not replacing the whole ship, but, replacing like maybe 10 parts. So that's a way you can, if you want a gunship, because I know those are hard to get, or any set that you want that has lots of white panels, or just, this could work in a lot of sets. If it's only the outer paneling that's yellowed, you can get them cheaper, and the Bricklink cost to remedy that is actually surprisingly cheap, and it can be done in an affordable way. Obviously, minifigures don't quite have that same thing. If you're getting a yellowed Scout Trooper, it's not going to work that way. And again, auctions was a good way of doing most of this. And then there was quite a few sets here that were only released in the last year or so, so I got them obviously at Lego retail prices in the Lego store. But also used VIP points to bring the cost down, as well as, saving up VIP points. So I think the smartest place to start with all of this would be the minifigures. So here's the first section of minifigures. The way it works is from here all the way to here is from here up to here is episode 1, and like it kind of goes, so it's episode 1, 2, Clone Wars 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it's a bit random, and then there's a non-Star Wars minifigures. Lots of cool minifigures here that I achieved this year, and lots of rarities as well. I'm not going to go through and name every individual minifigure because this is going to be a long video as it is. But just to name some of the highlights, I'm just going to show you. I'll go through them all, and then I'll name some of the highlight minifigures just to show off. Lots of minifigures here I achieved this year. Quite a few, nearly an entire, almost basically, when you include the minifigures on the other base plate that just couldn't really fit. So some of the main highlights here is, Jabba the Hutt, which ended up being my second one, but I ended up getting rid of one of them. So there's Jabba the Hutt over there. Other highlights would be, the Queen Amidala minifigure. as well as, you know, got a few other ones here that are pretty cool to have. One minifigure that came out this year, in 2022 that I absolutely love would be the Tonwee minifigure. Great character to finally get a camera known in Lego. It only took them 20 years. You know, got all the kind of Jabba's Palace type minifigures, you know, the original Han and Carbonite, that's pretty cool. We got the 2008 Darth Vader, which is the Darth Vader that I grew up with, so it's kind of the cool version for me. We got all the kind of Jedi from Palpatine's arrest. There was a lot of cool minifigures, all the Death Star figures. Yeah, a lot of these sets came with a lot of minifigures. But the Death Star with, I think it's either 24 or 26 minifigures, definitely did boost that up. And as you can see, I did go quite nuts with those new minifigure packs, the Clone ones. The only downside, yeah, you end up with loads of those commanders, but it's still pretty cool. There's a lot of just really nice minifigures here that I'm really happy with. And if you're wondering how I got so many of those Mandalorians, because I know that in the US you don't get the magazines. Those were going in $4.99 magazines, and I think I bought about 7 of the magazines because I got one in the actual set. But yeah, there's some really cool minifigures here that I'm happy to have. You know, your episode 1 stuff, 2, 3, or sorry, Clone Wars then, episode 3. The thing that got built up the most, if I am just, I think was Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones was a theme that had almost nothing. Before this year, I mean, the prequel era has been built up a lot, as the original trilogy has as well. But it was kind of fun to add, you know, get a whole bunch of these clone troopers is something I've always wanted. The 2013 ones are good, but these ones are just as good because I acquire them cheaply and get a lot of VIP points in the process, which made it even cooler. Other minifigures here that are cool that I got was, you know, Bush Leia is a really cool character. Return of the Jedi is one of my favourite movies of all time, not just in Star Wars, so it's kind of cool to get that. And you know, I branched out into other themes. I only have 2 characters from it. I've got Indiana Jones, which is another movie I like. I've not bought any sets, but that will change in 2023. Some of the custom minifigures I got, you know, I got Finn and Jake from Adventure Time, that's worth a mention. We got Master Chief from Halo. I got these at a Comic-Con event that I went to, which is also round about when I bought the Death Star. And some of these minifigures I got in trade as well. So take this Captain America minifigure, for instance. I traded with YouTuber Terrorkiller T1. He got I think it was a sorcerer from Lego Ninjago, and I got this pretty cool Captain America minifigure here. Let's see what else we got. You know, we got one of my favourite cartoons of all time was Scooby-Doo, so we got things like, you know, Fred and Shaggy, just minifigures that came in the Mystery Machine. Another cool character that I was really happy to get this year was K2SO. Because K2SO, just, after watching Andor, like, Andor at first never really appealed to me as a series, and then after seeing this droid pop up, I just was remembered the whole slap scene from Rogue One, and that's why I bought him. So I kind of need to buy a Cassian in 2023. Other figures that were notable that I didn't have before, again, this is one that I'm really happy with here. The original Han and Carbonite is one of those really cool kind of classic Lego Star Wars minifigures. But yeah, there's lots of things happen. I did add a lot of variety in my clone army. You know, this year I was able to add the Rancor Battalion Earth Troopers. I was able to add the 187th Clone Troopers. More 501st Troopers. One thing I will point out, there is no 501st sets on display here, even though I got another set's worth of figures. That is because I sold the 2 copies of the set to get. I bought those minifigures. I bought the sets on reduced, then sold the belts to recoup some of the cost. A minifigure that I was really happy we finally got this year was Phase 2 Commander Cody, or last year rather. It's another cool honourable mention. We could be here all day. If I was to pick my favourite figure that I got this year, it is very hard, but it's between probably the Queen Amidala from the 2012 Gungan sub, the Sheev Palpatine from Palpatine's Arrest, which is one of these really cool minifigures I've not done since, and a minifigure that brought me back to my childhood, because I remember getting this minifigure in his TIE Fighter, was the Darth Vader that came in the Death Star. Really cool Vader. Get the focus here. Just my favourite Vader, and I love that face underneath the helmet. Classic minifigure for me. So, I did really well in the minifigures. There is another slight bit of minifigures here. One more favourite I'd actually like to quickly show you. I know this video is dragging on here, but we got the Santa Darth Maul, which is another extremely nostalgic minifigure. if we come over here, now we have this, yeah, we're filming right next to my bed. We have this base plate here. Now this is the stuff I couldn't really fit on there that didn't make sense or grab the last minute. So we've got kind of the more buildo things. We've got the Omar Monk droid from Jabba's Palace. The Spider droid from the ATTE. We got the festive kind of snowman R2-D2 type minifigure, which I really do like. The Dianoga from the Death Star. Han and Carbonite from Jabba's Palace. The Scooby-Doo mold, which is quite cool. We got Salacious B, Crumb, a bunch of Gonk droids 2012 and 2021. The interrogation droid from the Death Star. General Grievous, I had to put on here. He just didn't really fit. Like he kept knocking other minifigures over. That is a Tang Grievous, which I acquired in the Malevolence. And one thing I got into this year that I really wanted to get into this year, or sorry, last year rather, was custom clones, because I wanted to add some variety in my army. So we got two types of custom clone here. We got the, this is called the Achille clone, and it's in those, some of those Ryloth episodes. They're there before the Mace Windu goes in. And these are quite cool. It's, again, I only bought one. These are not cheap, but it was nice to add a little bit of variety. The other one I added after seeing Bad Batch, or rewatching Bad Batch, was a Kaminoan security clone. I have reviews on both of these on the channel. But it was kind of cool to get all these extra figures, and of course we got Jabba's Palace there. So let's get into the sets themselves. So into the, I argue the figures are the coolest part, but the sets are even cooler. So there's a lot of different sets here. In total, there is a little bit hard to count, but I think there's 27 sets here in total. So some new, some old. A big goal of mine from the start of 2021, because of nostalgia, as a kid I had the entire line of 2012 sets minus the UCSB line. So it was kind of cool to go back and buy a lot of those things like the Jabba's Palace, Palpatine's Arrest, the Malevolence, the X-Wing, the Gungan Sub, some of my favourite sets from my childhood. And one set that I got that I never thought I would get here is a Death Star. I remember seeing that in catalogues 10, 13 years ago. I would have never got that as a kid, but I got it, and I actually got it for bang on retail. $250 is what that retailed for in the United Kingdom when it was out from 2008 till 2015. But all of these sets were gotten in different places. Some were the Lego store, some were eBay. For instance, this set over here, I'm going to try and lift up with knocking other things. One set that, very nostalgic one, is this one here, the 2012 X-Wing. I did not get this online. I got this in a store. So I made a video, a review of this, opening up this. I only paid about $90 for it. It was sealed. And the story behind that one is, there's a few stories behind some of these sets. The story behind that one is, I was in a store, and there's a store chain, or, well, not really a chain, there's not a lot of them, in the UK called A1 Toys. And what happened there was, they had someone come in, and this store takes old collectibles. That loads of cool Clone Wars, 2008 Clone Wars action figures, that kind of thing. And they had that sealed, sitting in their cabinet. So I came on buy that through that. For instance, another fun one was, I started talking to someone at Comic-Con, and they gave me a discount on that 2008 Death Star on their eBay store. Another fun one is that ATTE. Me and a couple friends who are also into Lego got up early to go get that set, and a few other ones August 1st at the Lego store. And as you know, if you saw the videos that I did make with it, I actually had to order it off Amazon because I didn't have any. But that day I actually ended up buying this at the Lego store, the Obi-Wan Starfighter from the Summer Wave. Trying other ones that have a fun story to them. Because I know some of these sets have a few memories, like recent ones attached to them. Like, Dagobah Swamp was fun getting up at, like, what was it, 6 in the morning nearly to go get that. Worrying that they would have none. Because the two previous times we tried to get that set, they just weren't there. The Palpatine's Arrest was a really fun one. Back in 2021, I had bought the Agent Kolar minifigure. Just find him here for reference. This minifigure here. Now, he is the most expensive minifigure from the Palpatine's Arrest set. I think it's the horn piece. So I found that Palpatine's Arrest, and it had been marked down by over £100 because it didn't have that horn piece. I had bought Agent Kolar when he was a £30 minifigure, so it's kind of a fun, like, one of those things. I bought the character, so I'm like, I could not afford the set back in 2021, so my plan was buy all the Jedi, and just one of those things that just kind of happened. another fun store was, and this was recently, in December, with the Lego Finmick Missile. I got this because I remember getting some of the Cars 2 sets as a kid in 2011, 2012. So getting one of these, it was kind of just a nostalgia thing for me. And, you know, there's some of these sets were actually bought directly in Comic Con. My Death Star Planet series set, and along with this right here, this Endor speeder bike, were bought at a Comic Con event in October. There is a whole video on that where we walked around the stalls and stuff. One of my fun videos from last year. But let's actually show off the sets now, because I bet you're dying to see them. So here it is, everything. Now, for fun, I did have the boxes over here on my bed, so you can see a lot of the boxes have Darth Maul on them, because I do really love that 2012 wave. And of course you can get all the sets down there, got a shining poster. Not everything had a box. Quick mention, Malevolence didn't have a box, Gunship, Home 1, Gungan Sub, Death Star, just to name some of the ones, I think that's all the ones actually didn't have boxes. The Mystery Machines boxes, I don't know where I've put it, but I didn't have it. But yeah, there's a lot of cool sets here, so we'll start at the back. So we got the 2008 Death Star, so it was one of those sets I could never afford and never thought I would get. And just getting it was one of those like childhood dreams come true. It took me like 3 days to build it, but was well worth it. The first purchase of 2022 was over there, the Jabba's Palace. A set that I got back in the summer of 2012. So it's one of those sets I wanted back, and it went up a lot in value after the Book of Boba Fett came out, and especially when the Boba Fett's throne room ended up being just a complete failure, just being an awful set. Coming down here, we have the Home 1, which was surprisingly cheap to buy. The Home 1 only cost me £80 with all the minifigures, and it's one of those ones that I am so surprised with. It's like, that is a 10th anniversary Lego Star Wars set from 2009. Fun fact, it's a fan vote. It was between this set, Palpatine's Arrest, funny enough is also there, and the Slave 1, which all three have been made. The Slave 1 multiple times. We got the mini Death Star, I'm going to zoom in a bit. We got this Death Star, and it's from the Planet series, which ended at the end of 2013. Got that at Comic Con. We got the Mandalorian Starfighter. I said that I was initially hesitant to buy, because I had so much plans of just buying the 2012 one, but I love this set. Next to it, we have the Dark Trooper Attack, which is, you know, I don't own a lot of stuff from the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett Disney series. In fact, I don't own any Book of Boba Fett sets. I went straight for the old palace. Here we have one of my most recent purchases, the Palpatine's Arrest, which is just such an iconic and really cool set. It's not something they've revisited. And I remember getting that I actually got that, I think I didn't get it in 2012. Originally I got it in for my 10th birthday in 2013, so, you know, almost 10 years ago. The Malevolence was one that I got for Christmas 2012 originally, so I wanted to get that one back so badly. I really do like this set. It's funny enough, when I originally got the set, I had forgotten it was in a Clone Wars arc, and I thought it was the ship from the opening of Revenge of the Sith. So as a kid, I was always puzzled to why we got Senator Padme in the set and not Obi-Wan. So yeah, the ATTE was a cool vehicle. I had the 2013 one growing up, so it was kind of cool. This one's a bit similar, but same time, definitely better. It's kind of rare that I'll say the modern version of a set is better than the classic. Another example is the set that I actually showed off in a video yesterday, the new TIE Bomber, is better than the 03 version. We have a set that I got cheap because I fixed it up. One that every clone army needs is the Republic gunship. One thing that you will notice in the May clone army is it will have grown. In fact, you'll even see it's grown here. I'm not going to say the exact number of clones I have because it'll ruin it, but it'll be even more by the time that comes out. A set that didn't do well when it came out, but thanks to a certain minifigure, is extremely expensive now, and a couple of months ago, actually a little while after I got it, it went up again in value. I only paid $170 for mine, now they're going for like nearly $300 used. 2012 X-Wing, as I explained, found a used collectible store, and it's a store that I also got the Finmick Missile in, so definitely going to go back there because I had the Monster Fighters theme, which is another nostalgic one. I am one of those few people who probably got very lucky with the clone command stations. I own 6 of them. I got 2, it took me 6 months to find the first 2 that I bought, and then in November, because the way it works is, with college, I have work after college, but because I was having half days, I'm like, I could just go up to the Lego store and just see what they have, and I kept buying them. All those command stations. Over here we have the guns for those command stations. Here we have something that I, as a kid, wanted to exist so bad, and it turns out it did exist in 2015. I just missed it. Was the Lego Scooby-Doo theme. I only own one set. I might change that, but this is the Mystery Machine. Definitely the most iconic set of them all from that line, so I just had to have it. Got the mini TIE Interceptor there. The Bad Batch shuttle was one that I wanted from the get-go, but only bought as recently as maybe November. I don't know why I held off on this. See, I would like to have a little goal where I buy all the sets from one like part of Star Wars. I think Bad Batch will be it. I just need to buy that Justifier, which I'm probably going to wait a month or two to do. I'm going to try and wait till that one's on like super discount. Here we have the Yoda's hut, which was kind of cool. A friend that I made in college there in 2021. It was kind of fun for, you know, he ended up getting into Lego because of hanging around with me, and it was kind of fun for us, you know. In this year, I've had friends to go up to the Lego store with, which has been even more fun instead of going myself. So this set is kind of special for that reason. It's like a really cool set, just not when you're placing all those millions of studs. And there's the speeders for the Hoth Battle Pack, which are there. The Republic Fighter Tank, whereas people have a problem with it, it was one that I originally intended to buy like 3 or 4 of. But that £40 price tag, now that it went up with the inflation, just does not feel worth it. And the problem is, it is probably the cheapest way to get those clones and that tank. The tank itself is cool, it's not something I'm going to want lots of, but it's mostly the clones, but the clones selling for £20 each makes it kind of hard. Got the speeders there for the Bad Batch attack shuttle. The Obi-Wan Starfighter's cool, because I own the 2008 version of Anakin, so it was kind of cool to have them together. A part of me is slightly considering going for the retro, well, not retro, but 5 years ago, God, 2018 version, because it's modern enough to look next to it. And of course, there's Finn McMissile. So this is everything I bought. Yeah, I know it's a lot of money to sink into Lego, but it's my passion. It's my main hobby. It's something I enjoy doing, and this type of video is gonna be a replacement. So you guys will still get Clone Armies videos, right? In fact, this year the two main armies I'm planning to do 3 armies actually. Droids, clones, and Empire. So I've been able to grow both a lot, especially the clones. It's bigger than, it's really big. Like my clone army I had as a kid was big, but this just trumps it completely. Don't get me wrong, I'm very fortunate to be in this position with my job, but even with that, some of these Lego sets, I didn't go out and buy this all in one week. Like, this was spread out. Some of this, not all of this was bought that way. Some of this was bought, some of these were gifts from people. Some of these were like, say I got money for Christmas or a birthday, I bought some of these. And again, these were well spread out. Some of these were, a lot of these were, especially, because I saved up Lego VIP points for about 5 years. I didn't buy a lot in those 5 years, but I had I had about £50, so I spread that quite well in some of these sets that I bought here. Again, in mind, some of these were bought through eBay auctions, which made it a hell of a lot easier to buy some of them. If I had to pick my favourite set here, that is near impossible. Because different sets are my favourite for different reasons, because there was 3 things I went after last year. So there's 3 categories for me for sets. There's the childhood nostalgic ones that I just want back through nostalgia. Key example, pretty much any of the 2012 sets that are sitting here. You know, the X-Wing, Malevolence, Palpatine's Unrest, that sort of thing. Then there's the childhood sets that are nostalgic, even though I never owned them. It's the ones I never got to have. Like, the Death Star comes into that very well. Like, the Death Star is a really cool set on display. Yeah, it's not the 2005 panelled one, but this is even cooler than that, if you ask me. I just like this one more. It's just such a cool set, and it's not one that I've had the luxury to review yet, just due to circumstance. And then there's the modern sets that just catch my eye, because even though I'm primarily a retro collector, there's a few sets in the last couple of years, like last year, ATTE was just that good, I just had to have it. And you know, there's a few sets that are like that. Then there's just the sets I didn't know existed, like that Mystery Machine, I had no idea Lego had done that till earlier this year. It was like November, I finally went and bought one. There's not here because I couldn't find it, but there's a tiny Ninjago Polymag build. Like, Ninjago, like, the 2011 through 13 era is something that's nostalgic, and I might jump into that this year. I think I'm going to show you guys one more shot of the boxes. Again, there's quite a lot of cool boxes here from, you know, back in the day. See, I don't keep a lot of the modern boxes. In fact, there's a few here that I'm going to have to maybe cut up. but probably not. Some of these I'm just keeping around for reviews. One set box that has a fun story behind it. The day that we went to go get that Yoda Swamp, it was raining and they gave us paper bags, which is why this box never actually showed up in the review. It's just so damaged and ruined that I just didn't want to. But I kept it for this video because I thought I had a fun story behind it. But I've enjoyed doing this opposed to doing two separate collection videos. Just gonna let you guys see all those minifigures again. Comment down below what your favourite thing is. Again, hopefully this year we get to the point of monetization. That would be cool, but I'm in a good position just now where I can afford to do this. So you're probably wondering right now, what are you going to buy in 2023? Well, if I'm being completely honest, I've already bought the Tie Bar and the 501st Battle Pack that came out. I've already got those. I've got another set on the way, but I don't want to say what it is because it's going to be a fun video to do. All I'm going to tell you is it's a 2013 set, which is kind of cool because this year I'm going to try and review a bunch of those. Like, the gunship's the only one I have from that year, so it'll be more fun to get a couple more in to go over those. But this is, again, something that I thought... I had this video idea months ago because to name a few sets that aren't able to be in these collection videos, there's a lot of them that I have just chosen to box up. They're in this cupboard storage. Got some cool posters here. But yeah, this will be a lot more fun. The real collection videos, like where you see everything, are not going to appear for probably, if I had to guess, if I had to really guess, 5 years. So 2028 is the next time I see one of those happening. But these are kind of just as fun because look, this is how much room that now you'd have a bit more room if you took out those base plates. But this is what I bought takes up this much room. So let's not think about everything else. But it's kind of fun just to see what I did. So sets that I want to buy in 2023. I suppose we should go through that category. It's a nearly 30-minute long video, but why not? So sets that I want to buy in 2023. I want to get my hands on the Rancor pit. As well as the 2013 A-Wing. I would like to get my hands on probably one of the Millennium Falcons. I do have the 2015 one, but I'm looking to get one of the original trilogy ones. Other things I'd like the V19 Torrent, and maybe knock off a couple more of those 2012 sets. Say C-10's Jedi Starfighter, the Desert Skiff, like some of the cheaper ones, and definitely want to knock into those planet sets. I own 2. I own the Death Star, and I own Naboo. It'd be kind of cool to just jump right into those. Here's another question you're probably wondering. Are any of these sets going to end up in storage? A couple of them 100% are going to end up in storage. The one that I know will be the Dark Trooper Attack. I might keep it built for a little while, but sometimes I like to rotate sets out. That's just how I do it. So, just going to let you guys see everything. I'm going to take a little picture for the thumbnail. But this was a fun video to do. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, 3rd day in a row with a video. Don't expect a 4th. I'm not planning a 4th. In fact, there's one more crazy thing I should probably show you about that's Lego related. In early December, I had to go buy the Lego cup. Which is, see, it's official Lego. The Lego logo is in there, so that's something cool that I ended up buying. But, yeah, most of this has been reviewed, if not all of it. The only things here that are still expecting a review to be done on them are I believe maybe the fighter tank needs review. I don't know if I've done that or not. I think I have, but I'm not sure. The Bad Batch attack shuttle needs one. The Mando Starfighter needs one. The Death Star, as well as the Republic gunship. Everything else has been done and reviewed, which is good. I'm happy to do that because most of this year, or last year rather, I only reviewed sets I bought that year. I didn't really go back and review too many old sets. I don't think I really did, to be honest. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. That'll either be a Figure Friday or a review. I don't know when I'm not up next uploading. Be a couple of days, but thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy. And hopefully we review the remainder here as well as other sets. I do plan to have some reviews on some 2023 sets coming in the next week or two. Or week or so, if I want to get those out soon. So, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys like the new format for yearly collection videos. Everything I bought in 2022. Thank you very much for watching.